Now, this is the first painting I've done where I've really strayed from Bob's original painting because of my mountain issue, so I'm going to have to do everything backwards from what Bob does from now on, so hopefully that works out for me. What's up everybody, and welcome back to rossross. I'm Ross, and this is the channel where I let Bob Ross teach me how to paint. Today we'll be doing season 24, episode 6, Mirrored Images, which I'm pretty excited about because I've never done mirrored images in quite this way before. So I've already got my canvas pre-coated in the liquid white. Let's just get started. First, Bob takes a little bit of the phthalo blue and just works it into the brush here. And he starts with the sky over on the left side here. And I'll get a little more paint for the right side. And anyone who's done a Bob Ross painting knows how much he loves his water, so we're also going to add some of that in there right at the beginning of the painting. And as always, Bob just comes in from the outside and brings the water in. And same thing from the other side. Now Bob takes a little extra phthalo blue and he's going to put that in the corners just to darken it up a bit. Well, actually Bob takes some Prussian blue, but I don't have that, so I'm just going to add a little bit more of the phthalo blue to try and get that same effect. Next, I'm just gonna blend the sky a little bit, and we're gonna just kind of take it from the inside out so that the outside keeps its dark value. Next, I'm gonna take some titanium white and just work that into the edge of the brush here. And I'm going to start putting in a cloud. Just dab it in. Now Bob's going to take just a tad of the yellow ochre and just add a little bit of color into this cloud. Well, that might have been a little bit too much of the yellow ochre, but I'll see what I can do with this. Well, I'm not sure about that cloud. I might have overdone it a little, but I want to stop on that before I get too crazy. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of phthalo blue and add it into some alizarin crimson to get a purple color. Just a tiny bit of that. I'm just going to kind of dab that on there. And I'm going to clean my brush. And now I'm just going to kind of take my clean brush and fluff that color a little bit. And I'm also gonna kind of fluff these guys up here a little bit. All right, I'm liking how that's coming out. Now I'm gonna get started on my mountains. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the phthalo blue and mix that with some alizarin crimson. And I'm gonna lay in the outline for a mountain. And Bob just uses a little tiny roll and just lets it come off on the canvas. Maybe a little bit more. And now I'm just going to use my brush to pull that paint down. So here we go. And now I'm just going to kind of mist the bottom by tapping it. And now I'm gonna make another shade of purple, but a slightly darker one with more of the phthalo blue. Oh yeah, Bob also uses a little bit of white in there. Now I'm going to create a second mountain with my slightly darker purple color. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one, just using my brush to pull that color down. And I'm gonna just fluff that in the same way. Now I'm gonna start making a even darker version of that purple so that we can make one more mountain. Now I'm going to do the same with this mountain. I feel like these two mountains kind of blended a little too much. So, since this one looks like it's kind of far away already, I'm just gonna do another slightly darker one on the other side of the painting, maybe. This time I'm really gonna try and make sure that this color ends up quite a bit darker. Alright, let's see what we can do with this mountain. Alright, now that actually looks like 3 mountain ranges. Now Bob also has us put a couple extra little dark highlights on here. So I'm going to need a little more of that color. We're just going to put the indications of different little ranges on this mountain. And I'm going to kind of pull those in the same way. Maybe just a little bit more. Next, I'm gonna take a little bit of cad yellow, yellow ochre, and sap green to make some greenery. And just a little bit back here. Now I'm going to take a fan brush to try and copy these into a reflection in the water. So I'm going to get my purple color and try and see how these might match up in the water. Let's see. Now to do these reflections we usually pull down, but since these are sort of created a little differently, we're going to pull up very lightly. Now I'm going to take my fan brush and mix a little bit of yellow ochre and Van Dyke brown and just a little bit of liquid white to get kind of a sandy color. And I'm just gonna put that color down on the green part here to make a little water line. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of the liquid white and just put some indications of little water splashes. I think that looks pretty good before I start to overdo it. Now I'm going to mix up pretty much all of my dark colors. So I'm going to take some blue, so a little bit of midnight black, some of the sap green, Van Dyke brown, crimson, all of it. And I'll mix that guy up here. I'm gonna get that on my fan brush, and I'm just gonna make the indications of some trees. Now this is the first painting I've done where I've really strayed from Bob's original painting because of my mountain issue, so I'm gonna have to do everything backwards from what Bob does from now on, so hopefully that works out for me. Now using my brush, I'm just going to pull that color up just a little bit. And just down to get a little bit of the reflection. Now I'm going to take my fan brush into a little bit of the sap green and mix that into my cad yellow. And I'm going to throw in just the indication of some trees here right in front. And I need a little more cad yellow. And he's gonna have a little friend. And maybe one more here, just a little guy in the distance. And I'm gonna take my brush and just kind of pull some of that color down. Alright, now we're gonna make kind of a gray color, so I'm gonna take a bunch of this liquid white and put it into this sort of dark color for the sand we were using earlier and see how that works. Maybe a little more Van Dyke brown. And we're gonna make a little landmass over here. And now I'm just gonna kind of take that same color with a little bit of extra liquid white, maybe whatever other random colors I got left on here, and I'm gonna make some rocks. And I'm gonna take my palette knife and just put a little shading on those. Might have scraped that a little bit too hard. And because I like the cad yellow so much, I'm just gonna take a little bit of whatever I got left over. A little bit of yellow ochre maybe. Just kind of blend a little bit of greenery in there. All we got left now is to sign my name. So I'm gonna take my paint thinner and get it in some of this liquid black. Nice and thin like ink. And there you have a finished painting. This one came out super cool. I really like how these mountain reflections and the tree reflections turned out. My sky actually looks like a fairly cloudy, poofy sky. These rocks came out pretty cool. All the mountains were a very simple, easy mountain to do, so this was a really nice episode. Thanks a lot, Bob. You always do a great job. If you guys like my videos, please like and comment on the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.